and I hope you're all having a great day so far. And I am here today with a little bit of a different video, and I'm going to do a little Q&A, but instead of it being kind of the usual beauty topics, I am going to be answering your YouTube related questions. So a bunch of you sent me in some questions on Instagram, and I'm going to do my best to get through all of them and let you know what you want to know about YouTube. So this is great for kind of beginning YouTubers, whether or not you're just interested, and it is something that I just want to bear in mind that certain questions I can't give you a full answer for, because there's a lot of things revolving around YouTube that you might not be aware of, but in terms of obviously like the financial side of it and certain projects and that kind of thing, you actually can't disclose anything. So even if I wanted to, I couldn't tell you the kind of whole deal behind it, because a lot of the time you get signed onto confidentiality agreements with brands and that kind of thing in terms of launches and things like that. So that's something to just bear in mind. But I've got the questions right here on my phone, and I'm gonna start out with the first question. So the first question is there a product, if there's a product a company asks you to review and you don't like the product, what do you do / say to the company? So I get sent a lot of products. That's something that kind of is very good about YouTube, and I know that it's something that can be controversial for some people, and they think that it's kind of bad that you get PR samples, but the way I like to look at it is YouTubers need PR companies to be able to talk about the new products, because if I only talked about the same things all the time, or when I bought them, you would get very bored with the content very quickly, because there wouldn't be anything new to talk about. And I'm aware that we're very fortunate to get sent samples of products, and it's a very amazing thing to have happen to you. But at the same time, the PR companies need YouTubers and bloggers to talk about their products, because if you put out an advert for a lipstick in a magazine, for example, you don't necessarily know how accurately that advert is reaching people that are genuinely interested in that magazine. When you put a product in a video, the coverage that it's going to get in a beauty video is targeted advertising, because you know that the people that are watching this video are interested in beauty because they're watching this video. So you've placed a product in a video that you know already appeals to people. So it's great advertising, and it's something that's very important for the advertising industry, and it's very important for us who make videos as well, because it means I get to try lots of different products and talk to you about them. And I'm always honest about products, because I think there's no point, and I take my role very seriously in that I can be sent something that's very expensive, but I know that if I give it a good review and I don't really mean it, somebody out there might go out into Boots and pay a lot of money for this product, their hard-earned money that they've worked for, because they think I've recommended it and they trust me. And I'd never want to do that. I'd never ever want to misuse that trust, because it's the kind of most important thing to me about my channel, you being able to trust what I say. So I would never do that. And I can understand that there's some YouTubers that like to kind of say, you know, I hate this product, this is crap, and just do it that way. I don't like to do that, because I don't necessarily feel that there is such a thing as a really awful product, with some exceptions obviously. But I'll always try and think who this product could work for. So it's not for me because I have oily skin, but it would be great for dry skins. It's a more diplomatic way of doing it, because I tend to kind of look at the overall picture of who this product might be appealing to. Like sometimes, you know, I get sent things that are not my colours or not necessarily my taste, but I know there will be someone else's taste, and I know that they're a valuable product to talk about, because I know that someone will have an interest of it. So that's what I do if I don't like a product. And the companies don't tend to usually ask you whether or not you like the product, or sometimes they'll kind of pester you for a review, but most of the time they just kind of happy with whatever coverage you give, and I try and kind of give very fair coverage. If you are the type of person that wants to really slay a product, then that can be quite difficult kind of in what you're going to say to the company, because obviously you don't want to do it in a way that's rude, but you want to kind of be very honest. So in that case I would just say it's not for me because blah blah, but it might work for some. That's the best way I think there is of doing it. I just thought that's not a YouTube question. There's a couple of questions that people kind of got confused and they weren't YouTube related. Has anyone at work ever watched your videos? If so, do you get embarrassed if colleagues mention your channel? How do you react if subscribers approach you while you're with friends or people who don't know about your channel? So I think maybe a few people at my work have watched my videos. I'm kind of quite open about it and I will mention it. But I don't think anyone really that I know in my personal life is particularly interested in my videos, because I don't really know anyone that's that interested in beauty, so I don't think people tend to be really bothered about watching them. I haven't ever had anyone come up to me in the street, but I do very often get messages and emails from people saying, oh, I saw you on so-and-so. It's normally like, I saw you on the tube and you were with someone or you were talking with someone and I felt too shy to come up and say hi to you, but I saw you. And whenever I see that, I'm like, oh, you should have come and said hi. It would have been really, really lovely to meet you. But people tend to be too shy about it, but I wouldn't kind of be bothered if they came up to me. In terms of if people don't know about it, it's easy for me because I don't vlog and that kind of thing, so it's a little bit different. But I don't kind of hide it from people. I'm very, very open about it, and people sometimes will ask you questions about it. Sometimes they have no interest in it at all. Sometimes they try and ask you how much money you make from it, which is always very odd because I always think you wouldn't ask that of someone doing another job. It's just because it's kind of unusual. Next question is, do you get money from anything YouTube related? So I kind of addressed this to begin with, and this is something that, like I said, you can't really talk about for contract reasons. But yes, YouTubers do make a certain amount of money from their videos, some more than others. I'm by no means, making a fortune from it, but I make a percentage of views from the YouTube partnership that I'm with. So I'm partnered with Style Hall, and then you get paid per a certain amount of views, and also sometimes you get sponsored things. So I'll always mention if a video is sponsored or if a blog post is sponsored, you do that. And sometimes you get to work on other projects outside of that kind of come to you through YouTube that are more kind of in the advertising area that pay you as well. Then what is your day job? How do you find the time making fabulous regular videos, editing them, uploading them, and juggling your normal life, work, friends and family? So I'm not going to talk about my job because I just don't particularly want to. Like I said about my kind of private life, a lot of people have always asked me to do vlogs or to kind of do a boyfriend tag and that kind of thing. That's just not my scene. I really want to keep my private life private, and I've kind of had a few kind of incidents with people that, I'm not going to say they were stalkers, but people that just got a little bit over familiar and that kind of thing through YouTube, and I just think it's better to keep it that way. But my day job is nothing to do with beauty, and finding the time is something that I think people kind of underestimate when they ask you that, because I always have people that say things like that to me, but I always think it's just time that I spend, it's time that other people would spend doing something like playing Facebook games or, being on Facebook or watching TV. I will sit down and make a video and edit the video instead of doing those things, because I don't enjoy doing those things and I enjoy making videos, so that's what I do. It is very hard to kind of juggle the time when you're really busy, and then what I tend to do is when I have got the time, or in an evening because I've got lighting, film a few videos to kind of be set up for the week is what I tend to try and do. But it is difficult to find the time when you're really, really busy. And if you kind of work a regular 9 to 5 job, kind of by the time you come home and you have kind of got in and made dinner and things like that, you're not necessarily always in the mood to do it. So sometimes I'll do it on weekends and that kind of thing, but I really try and not let it interfere with kind of my personal life and time with my boyfriend and that kind of thing, because of the jobs we both do, we live together but we don't see each other that much at the moment, so I don't want it to interfere with that. Then the next question is hair related. That's not it. Okay, this is a really good question. If you were given the opportunity to market your own line, what would it be? Example, nail polish, fragrance. So I was thinking about this, and because obviously a lot of YouTubers have kind of had their own lines, I'm nowhere near being that successful to be able to do that. But I think mine would be foundation. Foundation's my kind of beauty love. I love foundation, and I'd love to be able to create a foundation. And fragrance as well, although I think that's probably quite a tricky one and not necessarily one that would appeal to that many people. But they're the two things that I love. Or a line of candles. Oh my god, how good would that be? The Thesparkleicious candles, that would be amazing. What opportunities have come your way because of YouTube? So I kind of mentioned that before. Certain advertising campaigns that I've taken part of, and certain work that I've done for brands that I really love and that kind of thing, have been great opportunities that I wouldn't have gotten any other way. How do you stay motivated to keep doing YouTube? I don't ever feel not motivated. The only time I think I like to take a step back is if I've been having a hard time on YouTube and people have been being really mean, and I just kind of feel a little bit like not unappreciated, because I know there's so many people out there that do appreciate the videos, but just if I've been feeling a little bit kind of like I'm not enjoying it as much, I'll take a step back for a week or so, and then I'm always kind of raring to go again. And I always think, you know, a day will come where I'll run out of ideas, but so far that doesn't seem to happen. I have a notebook and I write my ideas for videos in it, and I just kind of randomly come up with things, or I'll see things, or I'll hear things, or someone will ask me a question and I'll be like, that's a great video idea, and I have to go and do it. And I write them all down in my notebook, and I just keep ideas, so hopefully they never dry up. What are the positives and negative aspects of YouTube? So, positives are, like I said, the opportunities I've been given, the kind of community that you feel on here, and the love that I get from subscribers is amazing. And the downsides of YouTube is the kind of horrible comments that you get, but it's not, you know, anything major. And sometimes I kind of feel like it's a lot of people want to be in on your private life, and I don't really like that. Then we have what are your YouTube goals, and have they changed since when you started? So I would love to be able to be a full-time YouTuber and make a living off doing YouTube videos when I have children, which won't be for quite some time, but I'd love to be able to do that, just because I would love to be able to stay at home with my children. And I know that kind of in today's world that's not really a possibility, but it's what I would really like to be able to do. I wouldn't want to have to go back to work and kind of have someone else look after my children. I'd really love to be able to do that, but like I said, I understand that in today's kind of world, you know, we all need to work and we all need the money, so I'd love to be able to combine the two. Whether or not that happens, I don't know. If it doesn't, that's fine. If it does, then that'll be amazing. And how's that changed? I didn't have a goal when I started out on YouTube. I didn't even know that you could have it as a career. I just thought it was a bit of fun. So yeah. And then we have, what does your family think of your YouTube success? They're really happy for me, obviously. I'm sure they're really proud of me, but they're kind of not overly interested in it, kind of thing. Like, they're not really overly interested in beauty. I don't think that many of them even watch my videos, to be honest, but they're kind of generally happy for me. And then, who would you really like to meet from the YouTube community? There's loads of people whose videos I enjoy. There's some I've already met. Yeah, I can't think of that question because there's loads. There's a lot of questions about kind of, you know, YouTube and job, how you find time and that kind of thing, but I've already addressed that. What made you decide to do videos on YouTube? Was it a video you saw and got inspiration from, or just a knee-jerk reaction? How do you balance personal life and making videos? So I was watching kind of the Dazzle Does 25 videos and Lollipop 26, so it was very trendy to have numbers in your name at that point, it seems, and I just kind of liked their videos and I really enjoyed it, and I was always so passionate about beauty and no one who I knew really was, and I just kind of loved that people talked about it, so I thought, you know, I could try and do this, and that was it. I just tried and I was kind of into it straight away, and I never, ever, ever, ever imagined that I'd be where I am with it now, ever. I didn't even think, you know, anyone would want to watch my videos. And then we have, where would you like to be in the future with YouTube? Would you like to make a career out of it? So I mentioned this before. I don't know necessarily if you know, like, my videos are good enough to do that at this point. I'm sure they'll progress with time and that kind of thing, but it is something that I would like to do at some point, but not now necessarily. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you've got any questions, then leave them in the comments below and I'll try and get back to as many of those as I can. I hope this was interesting for you and gave you a little bit of insight into YouTube, and I hope you're not disappointed, like I said, about kind of not talking numbers and that kind of thing, because like I said, A, you can't, and B, it's not really my style kind of thing. I think I don't like kind of talking about that kind of thing in general anyway. I think it should be private. But I hope you enjoyed this video, and don't forget to give it a big thumbs up if you did, and I will see you next time. Bye!